Hello YouTube, it's Craig with Kazworks Woodworking. Well, I just finished up this box. Pretty happy with it. Let me take you through the process. As always, I start by cutting my stock down to rough dimension. I cut the pieces to final length before I finish the milling. Since my bandsaw is still out of commission, I use the table saw to cut the pieces to a rough thickness. Of course, the jointer, which you see here, and the planer, which will be coming up, play a key role in dimensioning the lumber. All the pieces have been milled, and now it's time for box joints. I gotta say, I think that's a pretty good fit. Ready for glue up. Okay, it's gluing up. Got it all clamped up. On to something else while this is drying. Okay, the glue is cured. Box joints came out pretty well. Gonna have to clean them up. I think my plan is to do kind of an insert with walnut, just a thin layer that'll have a lip a little higher than this, that then the lid can seat down over. So I'm not going to be as concerned about the inside corners, although they look pretty good. But I'll just clean up these and tidy up any imperfections. I think it'll be a nice box.
The router really works well to get the majority of the box joints trimmed down. Then I'll just come back with some sanding. Here I'm starting to work on the base, getting it cut to length.
Okay, as you can see, I've got the bottom clamped to the carcass, so it'll glue up. I made it a little larger than the box itself, just for an added feature. This edge here, you can't see it because of the blue tape, but this edge here actually has a little hint of live edge. I kind of like that, so I wanted to keep it. Okay, there you can see now the bottom was glued on. I'm still going to line the inside with walnut. It'll have a little lip on it, so the lid will fit down on top. The lid will be a combination of walnut and maple.
I had previously milled down these pieces of walnut to this particular thickness for a previous project. Now I am just cutting them to size to fit inside the box. I am mitering the ends. I mitered one end. Now I'm just taking the board, putting it up against the box so that I can mark the other end to be mitered. And of course, back to the table saw for cutting the final length.
Okay, as you can see, I've got the inside pieces glued in. That's the walnut interior. The bottom will remain the spalted maple. I think it'll give it a nice contrast. I'll let that cure.
Here I'm starting to work on the lid. I've decided that I'm going to do some alternating patterns of walnut and maple as they wrap around, each edge being mitered. I'm putting a rabbet around the inside of the outer portion of the lid so that it will fit over that little tongue of walnut sticking up, making a snug fit. seems to make for a pretty nice fit. I'm laying it out for glue up. I put blue tape on the back side to use as clamps. I'm also using blue tape to help with the cleanup afterwards, because the squeeze out will go onto the blue tape rather than onto the stock. I also use corner clamps to ensure it remains square. I move on to a row of maple using the same method as before. Time to glue that row in. One more row of walnut, which will have a rabbet to accept a center maple panel. I'm cutting down that center panel to fit snugly into the lid. I kept sneaking up to my line to make a nice tight fit.
So I just finished the box. The lid was the last thing to do. Put 3 coats of water-based poly on it. I put a chamfer on the top edge of the lid, and then I put a slight chamfer on the bottom edge of the lid to kind of create a shadow line to hide any imperfections with how they met up. I'm not 100% sure I'm happy with the dimensions, but it's a box. It'll do what it needs to do. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Have a great week.